We are live, Free Range American, Snoqualmie, Washington, with a hodgepodge crew of wonderful humans. Boy, leading us off.
Hodgepodge.
Tim Montana, Heather Lynn.
What's up?
What's your name again?
Streetcar Timmy.
It is.
Streetcar Timmy.
It is.
Ten tire Tommy.
Yeah, and Leah Bauer.
10 tire
welcome.
Tommy.
Entire
Leah
Tommy.
Bauer. Blower.
Blower, Leah Blower.
I forgot we were rolling.
Blower. I don't even know her.
We are in some conference room in the hotel that we bartered $200 to get into.
Somebody bartered and got this place, and it ain't the Hampton no more.
No, it's not. We just finished up 3 days at the Dirtfish Rally School. Holy shit, was that an awesome experience. Big thanks to Tommy for getting us up here, man. That was awesome.
It's all Dirtfish, really, because I just made a bunch of phone calls and moved situations around because it just changed daily.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Dude, it was so awesome because this started back in Austin when we went to the American Rallycross race.
Yes.
And Dirtfish was one of the cars in there. We got to kind of see how those guys worked. Like, you should come up, and it just never worked out. And then there was going to be a show for Tim, Velocity Outdoors, and everything switched a million different times like it usually does.
Mm-hmm. Scheduling.
And then I somehow weaseled my way into this trip.
Dude, you shook like a coconut on a tree. I have no idea how you pulled that off. Because you went from, back of the classroom, just, trying to be there. Hi, I want to participate, to you got number one seat.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I like driving cars and going fast.
Yeah. Did you put some Visine, some old school Visine in Jared's coffee?
Yeah, I gave him the old squirt and gave him a stomach ulcer.
It was supposed to originally be Jared. And then it was supposed to be Evan, and then it was you?
Yeah, I was like, Jared, so you're doing this? He's like, yeah. And I was like, I want to come. He's like, okay. And I was like, I'm going to make it happen. And then I finagled Evan into it, and then Evan bailed. CEO shit to do. And then Jared bailed, and this was the crew that went.
Yeah.
And Mia Chapman joined us.
Mia, it was super nice to actually, because she's so clean and crispy, and because we're out there. Even me, I'm just throwing the car around. I'm like, oh, I need to turn now. Ha! But she's just meh, and cool as a cucumber. Again, it's just what I do on a Tuesday.
Racing's her game. We're kind of, maybe not rally isn't her world, but she's used to the pressure.
Off-road.
Yeah.
She gets the mechanics of it, and it's impressive, especially how young she is.
Yeah.
32, right?
Yeah.
I think she's 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it actually all started how this thing was birthed. I was going through I was scrolling, as you do when you poop.
Right.
And I saw I saw a picture on Dirtfish that they had posted, and how it shows you who liked it already.
Yeah.
And I saw that she liked it. It was Leah Bauer, and I was like,
Stalk you.
Yeah. So I called her, and I was like, hey, yo, Leah, you want to go to Dirtfish? And she was like, yeah, oh my God, I would love that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
I can imagine it. Yeah. You sound like that.
I know.
The whole 3 days that I've known you, you sound like that every time you talk.
She's like, that'd be so good, and I would love that. I've wanted to go for such a long time. Because she races road. This is actually somebody who races snowmobiles. How'd you end up in points? Second?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about it.
I'm second.
Yeah.
I'm claiming second.
Yeah.
I know, first loser.
She, no, so her season got cut short due to weather, because as it does with snowmobile, you have to have snow to race mobile.
And that has been a thing this year.
Yeah. So, but she actually was in the thick of her season, and you almost had to leave early because of a race season.
I actually have a race this weekend, but it was canceled because we didn't have any snow. So I kind of lucked out because I wanted to stay through the whole 3 days.
Now, I'm curious with your races, what does that consist of? What kind of course are you running?
So a lot of people think I do snowcross, which is on the track doing the jumps and whatnot. But I actually do the long distance endurance racing. So it's cross country, 100, 200, 300, 400 miles stuff on a sled.
Nope.
over the course of like 2 days.
So what kind of speeds are you pushing on a consistent basis?
Top speed down a straight. Like my sled goes like 109, but it should, I mean, I'm running a stock 600 sled. People are like, oh yeah, 850, that's real slow. I'm like, I'm on a 600 stock. So it's a pretty fast sled. I do, just clutching. We can't do anything other than clutching, stuff like that. Nothing to do with.
Yeah. That's still the insane to me.
Pinned.
You're just pinned for.
No. There's lots of turns and curves and rights, left chicanes. We will have like a mile long straight that you catch your speed on.
She's got some pretty impressive photos on the gram.
On the gram, do it for the gram.
What's your gram?
You do the like the old Indians on the side of the horse. They used to shoot the arrow under the horse's neck. You're like,
just like that.
Yeah, that's a good reference.
Yeah.
You have to
you
get
this
off.
Your whole life?
I've started racing sleds probably, 10, 15 years ago. I started in the snowcross and I didn't like it. And then I went to the ice ovals and I didn't like it. And then I went to cross country and that's what stuck.
And your dad.
Yep. My dad's a world champion snowmobile racer. So
that's
my parents got divorced when I was younger and I kind of stuck with him doing all the guy stuff.
Sure.
In the shop, on the sleds, on the bikes. So, and now we road race together. So I have road racing, but I've never done the rally, which is
cars, like
asphalt.
But those are still like manual, like you're.
Yeah, but it's completely different than rally. So this was a treat. This was awesome.
And you're hitting that point home because you've actually never driven
stick.
I was asking Mia too, because even though she races, all of her stuff is automatic. Her stuff is manual. Mia's is automatic. I mean, that's pretty, it just varies so much.
Yeah. Well, having that clutch pedal in there, like Mia does shift, but hers is sequential. So it's like, ma, 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 ba, ba, ba. It just goes up and back.
Yeah.
And you don't have a pedal.
Yeah.
So the having the 5 gears plus the foot pedal it can get a little much.
Like you killed it. Like having never driven stick before, we were all like,
yo,
where did you come from? Like that was awesome.
Big time.
That was so good.
That was I definitely did not expect to be where I was today 3 days ago. I was like terrified to just go forward. And then by the end of it, I started getting more and more and more. I think it's just that repetition, just over and over and over again.
Time.
Yeah.
That was, it's super impressive to see you come out and do so good when a person like Tim is just slow.
Man.
Here we go.
Too slow Tim and 10 Tire Tommy.
The reason why they're calling me 10 Tire Tommy is because I actually am the only person in this group that ended up in the tires. Yes, and I took out 10 of them.
And it wasn't even like a really cool moment.
It was funny though. It was it was super funny though. We were all mid-conversation. It was like,
yeah, it just looked like you started driving with your eyes closed for a moment.
Well, just for like a moment. Yeah.
When I went full lock, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to go right or left around the tires, and I just ended up
right in.
Okay.
Heather,
I remember my first time I did that too.
No, it was good. It's good. It was
Heather,
good.
do you feel like there was a moment when you like kind of clicked for you, or you went to like, oh man, I really dig this, and it kind of shifted a little bit for you, pun intended?
I like you did.
No, it was the repetition. It was the consistency and the repetition and over and over and over again. And it slowly grew and grew and grew on me. So it went from terror into comfortability into this isn't so bad into this is super fun. So there was just a steady progression there. It wasn't any moment where I was like, this is fun. This isn't because in the beginning, that turn in front of the gazebo where you have to hit the throttle and just turn it and then back into the shalom. So
you had you're linking corners. Yeah. Like that was almost like
Solemn. Thank you. Shalom. Yes.
It's like a full on U-turn into a snap back right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my arch nemesis in the beginning. I absolutely fucking hated that. But whenever I understood and I knew the mechanics and it was like more steering with my feet more so than
And that's only all-wheel drive. Don't think that if you get into a car and it's rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, it won't behave the same way.
Yeah, and as we've all learned, the clutch on every single fucking car is different. Touchy. The first time I ever, like that first day, within the first 5 minutes of ever having been in a stick shift car, I didn't stall it once.
Zero.
Tim
did.
I mean, today, that new car,
stall.
yesterday was a different car. Today, I stalled that car like a million times.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a million.
Not a million. Okay, like 5 maybe. Over the kind of time span of the day, maybe like 5.
Yeah, but Michelle, who's the co-pilot for Dirtfish,
also stalled
immediately
the car.
did that.
Yeah,
for
and so
me.
did
we
you.
were driving.
Yeah.
I actually didn't stall it, but that car was the hardest clutch out of any of those.
Mm-hmm.
There was no reason why that thing was adjusted the way it's.
So that started my mental day off kind of fucky, because I stalled it 3 times trying to just go forward. And then from there I was like,
I didn't stall it, but I crashed it twice.
And then I had that mental shit hanging on me.
Yeah. I did crash it twice. So
Today?
No, throughout the 3-day I crashed it twice.
I didn't crash it. I didn't hit any tree. None of us hit any trees. Can we just
Right, how about
appreciate?
that?
Yeah. We're all in one piece. Like, come on, guys. They're all
no injuries.
Yeah, we didn't
Mostly
hit any other humans.
There was
Which
some
was
damage
my
to a
big
windshield.
concern.
There was
We
an
lost
asshole
our
that damaged
windshield.
a windshield.
Yeah,
Some asshole.
Literally an
literal.
asshole damaged a windshield.
Yeah, Tim and I shared a car, and we had some issues with.
Did you get the reflection off the?
Well,
when
you
the
sit
sun would
higher
come
than me,
through?
so you get to look over. I looked right at the hole,
One hole.
the asshole,
the brown hole.
and, like where the spider starts.
Right down the red
I
dirt
saw the
road.
spider kiss this and make another spider. And this spider reflected light. And it was crazy. But I still didn't hit tires. So
Dude, it was
He
so
was trying.
fun.
We were too fast, so he was trying to sabotage us, and he plunked his pooper right on our windshield
plunk
and
the pooper.
broke.
.com.
I was just trying to merely moon and press cheek,
No.
and
I saw
it popped
that
the
windshield like flex and just go
Yeah.
punk and just.
Spider.
And I'm
do you,
like,
do you
oh
feel
my
like
God.
that cemented that fact in your head that you're
Oh,
like,
it's
I need,
cemented some shit
I
in my
need to
head.
stay on this yoga train that I've been on because
that was a good positive reinforcement for personal fitness.
Yeah.
one of the
Fitness
instructors,
ass on that windshield, bro.
one of the instructors comes up to my window. He's like, "Hey, you need to figure out who's taking care of that." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" He's like, "He just put his butt on the windshield and it cracked it." I'm like, "Okay, like not a big deal." And then, in our video
Put it
guy
on my
shows
tab.
me the video, and you bare
Got the
assed
whole
on the
thing.
windshield and just spiders. I was like, "Oh,
It's just-
okay."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Did it-
technically,
I ordered
he's not
some
with
more.
the Black Rifle crew, so
Did
yeah.
it poof?
It poofed. It was just like poof.
Ah.
But we did a lot of things really fast.
We did.
We did do it fast.
You could say that we like to do it fast,
We do like to do it
Hey.
fast.
If you ain't first, you're last.
That's right.
and we do it fast.
I was high when I said that.
You could be second. Hell, you could even be third.
He'd be 10th.
That's my whole goal was just to complete it and not crash into a human or a boulder or a tree and just go relatively fast.
Or
and
tires.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're
How'd
as
you
fast
guys-
as him, man.
How'd you guys like that? The actual like simulated stage rally with the notes and stuff, like the co-driver reading notes to you.
I kept telling her to shut the fuck up. Like, I can't do this with you in my ear. You need to
The
stop.
simulated
No.
notes?
Yeah, so the simulated
R3.
stage rally, like on an
Yeah, do you
actual.
want to
Open
explain that? Like they started.
Um,
that
Oh
was the
no,
last
Nate
episode.
did not do
numbers and
any of that
letters.
shit. He was like,
I was like,
hammer
"Bah."
it, go, turn, faster, slam on them brakes, cool.
So-
I'm
Yeah,
just
I
like,
didn't get any
yeah.
R1s, R6.
No, I didn't get any
anything
of
like
that.
Really?
No.
No.
They weren't reading you notes.
No, they were just like, he was just like, yeah, just go faster.
Do you wanna
hit
explain
them
the
brakes
notes?
harder.
Okay, in real rally, well, not just
Oh,
any,
Ooh, shots
real
fired.
rally.
Well, no, real-
Mr.
as in
real
Hello,
rally, you get an asshole
Mr.
on your
Fancy
windshield?
Pants.
as in a race, as in a sanctioned race. Don't, man, you
I wish
guys.
I could erase your
Whoa.
butthole from my windshield.
There's been
welcome.
a lot of talk of spreading cheeks lately.
Clap cheeks.
You need to wipe better.
Whatever, bro. I'm in a fucking
That's not lipstick on my windshield.
It was a hot day.
Oh no.
Looked like some dude that ate peanut butter left mustache hairs right in my peripheral vision.
The amount of butt hair, dude.
I might need for you. Can someone reach this beer for me? I need to.
Stage rally. Before I was so rudely interrupted. Stage rally is someone who takes a rally car like we were driving and goes down like mostly fire roads and just really backwoods, backcountry roads that are real. They don't change them. They're not like prepped for racing. Like you get what you get. So if there's a boulder in the way or something, like that boulder doesn't move.
Yeah.
And people smoke those all the time, go off cliffs. But it's not against, so there's not like a bunch of racers that go out all at once. There's one car versus that particular stretch of road, and you have a co-driver reading you notes so you know what the next corner is, because the speeds that you're going, there's no way that you can visually see
Right.
and understand what that turn is. So if a turn, like when I was running rally, I did one.
I ran rally one time.
But when I did it, so like the scale works is 6 is pretty much straight. Like 6 is flat out. Like you hold it to the floor and there's a gentle curve.
Mm-hmm.
1 is pretty much, for me, like when I was noted, like I told them, like 1 is U-turn. And a 3 is a 90. So like in between that, you can adjust and tell me, if something's like more or less.
So 1 being the hardest turn, 6 being the...
1 is like you come up, you punch the brakes, rippy brake, go the other way.
You're going, the opposite way. 6 being a light turn where you can get into it
not even
fast.
a turn. It's just like you're just flat.
Right.
Like your foot better not come up. So they read you notes in order for you to go fast. And you're blindly trusting them. So if they read you a left 6 and it happens to be a left 3, bro, you better hope there's not a cliff or anything weird on the other side of that, because you're going at 6 speed and that's a 3 corner. You're going to be like, woo, blow that corner. But like when you guys were actually like not back on like a prep, like, the boneyard, the grid, like those were all big open areas. Like how were you feeling once you got into the woods and you started to not, like you weren't able to see the rest of the course?
I felt so much more comfortable.
Right.
Oddly enough.
It was less to process.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so much worse. And then when we went through the course that first time, I was like, this is so much better than the cones, even though the cones are more forgiving.
Yeah. And the cones are still there.
Yeah. More so than slamming into a tree. But there's something more that felt more natural and fluid about like racing through the woods.
Tree hugger.
Old tree hugger Timmy.
Yeah, right.
But did y'all feel the same way? Like I felt way more relaxed today than I did dealing with like a million cones.
Yeah, when we
Logan,
were,
you were
going,
freaking parallel parking yesterday.
Yeah.
Today you were on my ass, and I was like, no way.
I feel like they were
Logan was
trying to
coming
get
right
us to
behind
go
me.
a little bit
it.
crazy. The end of the second day, we did this big open course, and Dirtfish is like such a cool facility. It's an old logging processing facility, and so there's like old epic buildings. Like you just pull up to this place and I was like, holy shit, where the fuck are we?
It's visually appealing.
Oh my God, the aesthetic of it is so unbelievable. And so that's the only thing you want to do is just press the gas pedal to go through this whole entire thing. And I kind of feel like they were setting us up to just mash the gas pedal the whole time. And so I was kind of treating it like adult go-karts for a long time there, to where I was just like having a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And I was just like seeing how far we could push it. But yes, to answer your question, once they kind of interjected, like this becomes way less forgiving. And if you mess up, you're either hitting a human, hitting a tree, breaking the car.
Right, there were camera folks right in there.
Yeah.
A couple times. I'm like, okay.
Somehow I was way more relaxed with all of that than the fucking cones of like training days. And then there was like, there's trees and rocks and there's people. And I'm like, what? All right, let's go faster. Like, it was like, I don't know. It was just less scary feeling like everything
I feel
was
like
real.
we were going faster, so we didn't have time to process that it was scary.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the time to look around and see. You just knew that you had to go this way and this way and this way and this way.
Yeah.
Like you're not like, oh shit, cone. Or
Right.
10 like I hit. It was like, oh, okay, turn.
Exactly. I think that was it. It's like, if I hit this, what if that is a tree? I can actually see the trees in the wheel.
Like you're going at a
So,
faster pace. So
yeah.
you don't have time to like think. That was my problem is I was in my head for like the first 2 days. I'm like, I don't even know how to drive a car anymore. What am I doing? But then once I finally relaxed and I got it and light bulb went on, then it was just more of like, okay, there's my path that I need to go and everything else is out the window. And you're just...
And the more you do it, the more like the lift, turn, wait, lift, turn, brake thing. Like everything starts to, you don't have to think about it. It just fluid.
Yeah.
And you start to gauge
over
it better.
The course of the 3 days, you like start to get to this point where you're unconsciously competent with it, where like a lot of it becomes muscle memory. You're like, I don't know how I got here in the course of 3 days.
That's like my favorite takeaway from doing this the first time. After I did this course, like what I took home with me, like in snow, ice, rain, when everybody else is kind of like, choking up on the pedal and like, oh no, like I'm like when that ice happened in Dallas, I missed that 100-car pileup by like maybe an hour.
Wow.
And I was just out there just having a good old time and going from ice to that thick snow to ice because you have to make those lane changes and stuff. And like to have that confidence on the regular road is everything.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to notice later.
It'll make you a better driver. Like even for a while, like going from the rally car to like just being stable. Like for a while, it was like, I feel like I'm like weird just being still right now.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so this is one thing which is why I think it's super applicable is we all drive. Everybody gets in a 4-wheel vehicle and they go close to speeds of 100 miles an hour. We get in essentially metal heavy death machines every single day of our lives. Like, maybe we should get good at this task. I don't know. Man, that sounds like kind of a good idea that we might be able to do.
I called Danielle, my wife, and she's like, can they do that for our kids? Like, wouldn't that be a great thing? You go through your dad's driver's course, which is driving the Polaris. My daughter runs it around the neighborhood. She just turned 13. She's confident, not cocky, responsible, good with it. And Danielle's like, what if when they get the driver's license, we go to Dirtfish? And I was like, no way, kids are allowed to come here. He's like, hey man, 15 learner's permit, they can go. And we're like, what a cool thing if we brought all of our kids there. And what a great, like, in Montana, you grow up driving on snow and ice and nasty stuff. And then moving to Nashville, it's like, most people aren't built for that. And it's like nothing against them. It's just they didn't grow up around that stuff. But if you can give your kids or people learn how to drive every kind of experience you can, I think you should bring your kids there. And I'm going to bring my kids there.
For sure.
Can I borrow some money?
That's
what are you talking about, big record deal, man? Come on.
He's the only one that doesn't owe me money right now.
Oh my God.
You sure?
I was not.
Did you give me 20?
I don't know you any money. You guys didn't even let me play your game, so
I didn't even get
know
monetarily involved because I wasn't even expecting.
Yeah, we didn't get invited. We didn't get invited into this.
Chapman owes me 20.
We were chop
I got
liver.
called on a technicality.
My brakes went out.
Your untechnicality time was still 2 seconds off me.
Yeah, but
with some practical application, anybody can go to this course.
Anybody
and go and take it. Like, it's not that expensive. It's super fun to do.
Especially for the abuse that you're putting on these cars.
Right.
Like,
for sure.
The reason why it's even the number that it is because of the amount of money that is spent on what you're actually doing.
Yeah, I was shocked by, I mean, I shouldn't have been, but I was shocked by how much work goes into these cars and how much damage is done to the cars. I mean, even if you don't hit anything, you're not rolling. It's not like you're doing anything crazy and hitting stuff. It's just the wear and tear on the tires, the suspension,
rims,
all that. It's insane how much that adds up.
Yeah, it's good. It's good real world experience. The way I try to rationalize it in my brain is even though I was terrified for the first half and had fun for the last half, it's like, imagine a post-apocalyptic scenario where like, what if the only car left on earth is like a manual and I don't know how to drive it. And then I have to drive it like an asshole through a horde of zombies. like I can do it now.
And what if you wake up and you're super pissed off and you want to kill as many zombies as possible with the awesome spiked hood system that you set up on your post-apocalyptic vehicle. And you're like, oh, I need to hit 9 out of 10 to make my morning quota.
I would put razor blades on the side so I could dirt fish into them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I wouldn't run them over because that risks my radiator.
Yeah.
I would sideswipe them.
That's smart.
With my razor bladed sides.
That's kind of cool.
How are we looking up there, Sergeant Best? On target, on time, boys! Fire forward,
Do you guys think you would like, if in your post-apocalyptic vehicle, would you like put spikes out, like in front of your vehicle attached to your grill, or would you like have stuff on the sides?
I would take it
to
on the
have, like,
sides.
big
Yeah, I
sweeping
feel like you'd
motions.
want them to bounce
'Cause I
off
don't
because
wanna
otherwise they're
take 'em with-
stuck to the
yeah.
front.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want them
That's
to bounce.
gross. I had an asshole stuck to my windshield today. I want the asshole stuck to the side of the car.
Just get
starfish.
yeah. I would want flamethrowers.
Chocolate starfish.
Flame fire.
Yeah.
All of them shooting out the front. Fire. Always fire.
Fire.
Kill it with fire.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
Get some
Just run
anti-lag.
them over. That was my favorite moment for me at Dirtfish was when I ran it. I took out the only time I probably sincerely fucked up. Because I kind of would graze some things here and there because I'm a pretty careful, cautious driver being new to all of this manual shit. And there just came a point where like I had to take out 4 cones at once. And I was drifting in a way. I was like, looked at the time my instructor was Nate. And I was like, I'm taking them out and taking them all out. Fuck these cones. And I took out 4 at once. And he was like, it's fine. He was laughing his ass off. We went around the whole track. And when we came back around, I was like, haha, look, some other jackass took out some more cones. Like, look, there's more cones. He's like, no, that was you. You
All of
drug them
those.
for half of the course. I was just like, oh no.
Oh no.
But we've got Tim is super close. What are we? We're 2 weeks away from the new album release.
Yeah, April 9th.
Hot damn, oh boy.
If White Claw Weekend ain't on it, I ain't buying it.
White Claw Weekend is not on it. That'll be a separate
Yikes.
Black Rifle.
We just did the
Matt,
photo
JT.
shoot for it today.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, we could have. Yes, we got.
we got pics.
Can you say that?
What?
Can you say White Claw Weekend?
Why not?
I don't know. Are they going to come at you?
Come
You
at
say
me, White
whatever.
Claw.
Yeah, fuck, okay.
Shaking in my space boots.
We're gonna make a song promoting your product and make it a country music
No, no.
exhibition.
No, that you would only get in trouble if he was sponsored by, say, Truly.
Oh.
Oh,
And he
that's
said
truly.
White Claw Weekend.
Hmm.
But he's not sponsored by
Do you-
either.
If you do
So-
not say white girl wasted during this whole song, I don't even know what to say.
Or Basic Bitch.
Oh, that song's not even on the album.
Oh,
you
shit
weirdos.
daggers.
You avoid those
Kinda-
lyrics throughout the whole song?
Kind of hurt
Okay.
my
Yeah, we did.
energy.
Dude, give us the rundown on this.
Yeah, so the record spent 15 years in Nashville. Don't tell anybody, but nice guys finished last, I think. I'm a nice guy, but with partnerships, and Tommy actually helped me kind of stay alive with teaming me up with Traeger, and I didn't know about this influencer world, and then met Black Rifle kind of through Tommy as well, because he introduced me to Jim York. I mean, Tommy is kind of my little secret key to success.
Moral of the story,
Terrible
Tommy
racer.
knows everyone.
Terrible racer.
Terrible racer. Tommy 10 Tire.
Yeah, I did. I've done 5 independent records and then signed with Broken Bow BMG Records out of Nashville. And so this is going to be where the rubber meets the road, if you will, or the rubber meets the gravel, or different services as we learned. But it comes out April 9th. 12 songs. Hit record producer Michael Knox did it with me. And one of our first songs, I'm talking. I don't know if...
No, dude, I just totally was like, so this is totally off the wall. I don't mean to interrupt, but like, I heard a thing that like, I don't know how true it is. How often do girls fart and then have it turn into a queef?
What does that have to do with anything?
He opened a beer and it sounded like a
And he goes right to me, so I cracked up
And then
laughing
she went-
because I
she
knew
went-
exactly what happened over
she went
there.
like this. She went ha ha ha, like made like a fart, and I was like no, like, pff. And then she laughed because I was talking about a queef, and then in my brain I heard it like recalled a story of a girl telling me that sometimes they fart and then it goes into their vagina and they have to queef a fart.
Oh.
In case you didn't know what a rabbit hole was, we just went
Anyway,
down.
Oh,
April
yeah, we
9th,
went way
long
dark
shots
deep.
will be out.
April 9th, you guys. Check out April 9th, Tim, Montana.
12 new songs, but one of the first songs we dropped off the record, we actually filmed the video at the Strontaland with Tommy.
Send help. That's the
This
one.
is what you get for just saying that this man was your keyhole into success.
He said hole.
He said hole.
He
Takes
said
it
hole.
all
Immediately
away
fuck
and
that
then
up for
shoves you into the garbage.
Okay,
Into the hole. Into the hole.
Speaking of your video, I was kind of thrown off because like I found out about your video a week before it was shot.
Me too.
And then like we show up and there's, flamethrowers and people doing donuts around people in the middle of the parking lot with no safety. There was no ambulance there in case something happened. Like whenever we do
ambulance,
ambulance.
Wambulance.
I'm from East Coast Baltimore, so we say ambulance. But you were saying when you told me about that, it's like your label told you not to do anything dangerous.
Oh, they said no. We'll use the action figures. We got
stock footage.
The stock footage they already did with stunt people, and they said, "So Trav, you guys don't need to do any of your own stunts.
We don't have the insurance for that,
right? We don't have the insurance for that. It was kind of a lower budget video, and don't tell that to Trav because here he comes ripping with that Subaru all around. Then he blows the tires out of that. Parks it.
Yeah, gets rid of that.
Grabs the dirt bike.
Yeah. Don't forget about the side-by-side on 2 wheels.
Oh my God, the side-by-side too. He almost flipped that sucker over. Yeah, so we ended up doing that, and NASCAR ended up using that song for their truck series. And we've just been putting out songs, and I love that I am able to shake enough trees to kind of, the label's like usually like, oh, we're going to hold these songs till this or that. And I'm like, hey, we got the Pro Bull Riding wants to use the song. And they're like, they do? And I'm like, I was going to CBS. Then I forced them to put a song out. And they're like, who is this motherfucker? And I'm just like picking up the phone. Like, they told me I can't do this, but I'm doing this. And 12-song album comes out April 9th. Really excited about it. And I got to have a little fuck you on the album cover. And it's not a fuck you to you, the viewer. It's a fuck you to the man. And in the song Cars on Blocks, we say scratching to the middle finger to the top. Hey. Houses on wheels, cars on blocks.
Hey, don't forget about that sweet, sweet t-shirt too.
Yeah. Well, that's a sweet t-shirt, old boy.
Yeah. It's not just an album cover. That is a t-shirt that is for sale.
That is a for sale, TimMontan.com. God damn, we got deals. I
need to get one of those right now.
When are you going to be able to tour again, man? Like, that's the one thing that I've been hurting on is like I miss a lot of shows.
Yeah, we've been able to tour more. And I don't want to say tour. We've been able to do shows here and there more than other bands because we do a lot of biker rallies and bikers don't really care about masks, helmets, or condoms. I've had a lot of sex with a lot of bikers. They never wear protection.
You like to spread your cheeks everywhere you go.
Oh, right.
I like spreading my cheeks.
Skydiving.
Dude, I was crying myself laughing when you were... I thought I was going to...
Inside joke.
Yeah, and then, so we've done shows here and there, and then now we got hired for a couple kind of fuck you shows from venues that were shut down by the county. And they're like, hey, we want you to come in. And I'm like, you do? What? So we did a few here and there, and it was good. I've got antibodies. Most of my band has had corona, COVID, whatever you want to call it. But long story short, May, we're starting to get gigs again. And the summer, all the weekends are packed out. We got a couple gigs with Travis Tritt this summer.
Okay.
And, snuck a song. I got his first single in 13 or 14 years. I'm a co-writer on called Smoking a Bar. And he texted me today. We were racing and I showed my instructor. Travis goes, did you see the videos Heat Seeker on CMT? He's like, you probably already know, but this video right now is the Heat Seeker. And I was like, had to show the instructor. I'm like, humble brag. Travis Tritt just texted and said this. He's like, okay, cool. Let's get driving.
Focus.
My mom thinks I'm a fucking badass.
Hell yeah.
So we're excited, man. April 9th coming out. We're going to do a radio single. This will be a whole new thing. FM radio, do a big push and see what pops. And yeah, I feel like we've built a brick foundation where a lot of artists build shit out of sticks, like teeny little tiny pop country sticks, and they blow over and no one remembers them because you're fake. And
how was Mama Dukes? Didn't you see Mama Dukes here before this trip?
Who?
Mama Dukes up in Montana.
My mom?
Yeah,
she's good.
Yeah,
she's good. Got married again.
Yeah.
How
many is that?
4.
Wow.
Oh, hot damn.
Yeah.
Okay. She's living.
She must have beer-flavored titties, man.
God, that reminds me of a story. I got my dad. My dad's sitting over here, and he came up, and
that could be number 5.
Maybe we need to make an introduction.
Family.
But I was like, when my grandma, my father's mother, was on her last days, I had a chance to spend some time with her before she passed, and was like, Grandma, do you have any life regrets? And she had, how many times was she married? 5 times, 4 different men. And I was like, Grandma, got any regrets? She's like, man, I wish I would have chased them boys a bit more. And I was like, I'm taking that one to the bank. I'll remember that.
And I do
keep living.
The new husband, Mark, great guy, man. My mom and I went through a lot of shit in my childhood, and with the other guys, we're not good to her. And this guy holds the door, and it's like, as much as I want to not like the guy, I love the guy, and he holds the door for my mom, and they hold hands and they drive, and I want to puke when they kiss. But he's like Black Rifle Coffee till he dies. Like he's like, Timmy, will you go to the mailbox for me? And I was like, yeah. And I go, and I'm like, you fucking did this. I open it. There's the BRCC box. There it is. Like, big fan of that. He's got the Traeger out there, and she's happy, man. And so one of our neighbor gals said, 4th time's a charm, and she kind of insulted my mom. My mom's old school. They like to, that's this or that, whatever, they get offended by that shit. And I was like, Mom, if you don't know about your son yet, I'm kind of outrovert. I wear it on the outside, and I'll write a song about any fucking hillbilly thing that this family does. And so I got to thinking about that 4th time, and I was like, I got with these guys in Nashville. I wrote this song called American Dream. And it ends, starts with, Mama just got married for the 4th time again. If he makes it to July, we're going to throw a party. Guess we'll have to welcome him in. And then it goes, we might not be the cover of your magazine, but it's our own American dream. And I'm like, she's happy. This is her American dream. And who am I? Who are you to judge someone that's fucking pure and genuinely happy? So, how about for Mom and Mark?
Live your life.
Man. Amen. I had a little tear stream down. Yeah. Sweet, man. Sweet.
But seriously, let me get your number, Dad.
Yes. What else we got?
What are your projects? What are you working on, man? You're
come
the
on,
big
Logan.
production
Top
guy.
secret. What's that river trip?
Come on, man. You're at the top of a food chain.
Well, no, it's just so interesting that we ended up at Dirtfish because we've been floating with. We just had BJ Baldwin on FRA. That was last week. I don't know when this will get aired. We've been doing some stuff with the Hoonigan guys. And I feel like there's something big building in the motorsports world. There's this conglomerate, it's intersections happening. It's pretty exciting.
If you need a driver, Tim's your man.
Guaranteed faster than Tommy every time.
No, I've been talking to the Hoonigan guys a little bit, and I don't want to jinx anything, so don't want to talk about it quite yet. But I got a little special project working with those guys.
Any project with those guys
that I hope is
awesome.
Really going to come to fruition, man. It's a really cool, interesting thing that kind of hit my brain at the end of last year. Everything was like, you guys remember like the end of 2020? Like we just kept going down that decline to 2020. I was like, man, I just want to like come up with a positive message that will like inspire people. Like I felt like everything was so negative, and it's kind of in the works right now. So working on that a little bit. Yeah. And I was just talking to you right before the show because we're bringing on the FRA video content. I was like, man, Tommy, very ambitious. I'm going to have 9 different series running on my YouTube channel and yoga, food, construction, racing, pranks,
hunts,
guns.
Oh, no guns.
Guns.
No.
Because America.
I'm offended, man.
That's cool, man. Tuck your little vagina up. Get the fuck out of the room.
I just queefed in it.
I think
fart queef in it.
I think Heather showed me my favorite meme I've seen this year yet, and it was a pistol sitting at the top of a stairway.
Mm-hmm.
It just said, "Just put your guns here, and you don't have to worry about Joe Biden."
Yeah,
because he tripped up.
Yeah, he tripped up once.
3 times on the same set of steps. It got progressively worse.
Oh, fuck us, right?
I'm just praying for that meteor every day. Please, baby Jesus.
I do the same thing.
We need it now.
When I see anyone put a politician on a pedestal, I'm like, send the fire.
Here's the thing. Now. Apocalypse, please.
Here's the funny thing about meteors is that I went to space camp, by the way, so I know this.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Is there anything you haven't done, Tommy?
Wait, what is space camp?
Space camp, like I'm an astronaut. But I was a child, so...
Is this like something you made up in your back part
like,
with cardboard boxes or what?
No, I actually went to, down in Alabama, in a NASA facility, I went and I was in space camp.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, if you pray for a meteor, you're probably going to get one of them little bastards that burnt up. It was big, but then it burnt up, and it's just going to be this big, and it's going to be like one that just takes old Timmy out.
That's what all our drunk friends. That's what all our drunk friends saw last night at dinner.
Oh, we
or the other
saw
night.
UFOs.
Oh my God, they're FaceTiming
Yeah.
us. We saw UFOs
Yeah,
over
y'all
Seattle.
told me that.
Yeah.
I didn't even.
Which was the SpaceX
SpaceX
breakup.
rocket
Burnt
shedding
up.
something.
Came
Yeah.
through something.
Man.
Old Elon's busy, man. He's just
Yeah.
busy son of a bitch.
Well, I
Oh
was
yeah,
talking-
it wasn't. It turned out to not be you.
No, it was a SpaceX launch. And I was talking to Nate, one of the instructors at Dirtfish, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't want to take you with me, but like, if I got to go out, I got to die, like send in a rally car, like over and over again into rolls and going out that way.
Yeah,
Like, I wouldn't be so bad.
That's a good thing to tell your instructor when he's strapped into a car with you next to you while you're.
No, honestly,
rallying.
no, he started the conversation because he's like, no, I've lived it pretty good. Like, if we go out this way, I'll be okay with it.
Okay.
I was super surprised. But do you
You
guys
can-
ever think
that's-
about
you
that?
guys
Do you
are
ever think
dark.
about how you
My
want to
death,
die?
death, constantly, 10 times a day, all day, every day. I think about death, and I'm like, put it on my tombstone. Don't even put me on a tomb. Like, throw me in the trash. I don't give a shit.
I always wanted neon. Like
But
wanted
it's like,
that-
who cares? It's like we're all gonna die. You can't avoid it.
I always wanted
It's shitty.
neon.
We try not to think about it.
I want that
But we
neon
do.
sign. It's blue neon,
Mhm.
and like it's just gonna say, "Here lies the rowdiest dude alive."
Like the live nude sign, but
Oh.
it's above
But
your.
it's gonna have an arrow that goes. Zzz,
Yeah.
zzz, zzz, zzz.
Yeah. What? That's like Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice
It's like
had one.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice had like a live, like a sign, didn't he?
Wasn't his
Am I
like?
crazy?
I don't know.
I don't
Did
remember
Beetlejuice have a
that.
sign?
I was kind of scared of
watched
Beetlejuice. I didn't
all
watch
the
I
it.
love
time.
Beetlejuice.
That was one of my
Scary.
favorite movies when I was a kid. I feel like I would remember that.
Random. Speaking of movies, I do have a funny story to tell you guys. Steve Cropper was totally rando,
Okay.
but it has to do with rally and racing. Steve Cropper was from Stax Records. He was in Booker T and the MGs. He wrote "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay" and one of my heroes to get to work with him. But he got casted or whatever that was to be on Saturday Night Live in a band called the Blues Brothers Band with Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things to ever happen.
Right. It was him, Paul Schaefer, Donald Duck Dunn, Matt the Guitar Murphy. I know I'm missing names, Lou, all those guys. And so when we rode the bus about 3 weeks ago, we're writing a song for the Marine Corps about O'Bannon. Remember O'Bannon, the sword guy that went to Tripoli and all that stuff? Military tie-in, but we go up there with Steve. He's a great Patriot American. And he goes, man, he's like, every night when we'd cut the movie Blues Brothers, he's like, we had all those cop cars. And we were in Chicago. And he goes, Danny. And I'm like, Danny. He goes, Danny Aykroyd, man, is like one of his good buddies. He goes, he'd fire up those police cars and say, can I take one for the night? And the director would be like, yeah, it's fine, Dan, it's your movie. And he goes, the minute we'd get away from those directors, he would just open wide up and turn the lights on in the car. And he said, man, we went through downtown Chicago sideways, this way, hitting signs and shit. We drifted freaking parking spots, get out and have dinner. And they return it every day. And the car was like kind of fucked up when he returned it.
Yeah, they had
Okay.
200 of them.
Yeah, they had a ton of them. And at the
Changing
time, I
out.
think there were never more cars crashed in a motion picture than the Blues Brothers. You know, remember the pile up in the mall scene?
Dude,
At
where they're
least
going through the
80 of those
mall.
That
things,
that shaped my childhood.
Oh, man. What a great movie.
Oh man.
And hearing that story that they gave Danny and Steve Cropper the keys every night to a car. Yeah, go to dinner.
In a cop car.
Whoa, jumping bridges. Like,
That's
lights
awesome.
on. Everyone's getting out of the road.
Fuck
I
yeah.
love it. I love
Rando,
it.
but it made me think of Rally and yeah.
It's very it works.
Mhm.
Works.
God, that's such a good movie, man.
Oh,
They're like
best.
remaking all these old shit movies
Ghostbusters.
now.
Dan Aykroyd.
And they're doing it in a shit way, like not
Yeah.
remake Blues Brothers. That's one of those movies.
No, they
that
did
shit-
Blues Brothers.
2000.
They redid it 2000. Travis Tritt was in it. Paul Schaefer was the original Blues Brothers, and I'm friends with Paul, piano player, but he was producing a record, so he couldn't do the movie. So he was bummed out because the movie became a box office smash and, you know, one of those just massive films. So then the Blues Brothers 2000, Paul Schaefer came back. And obviously, Belushi was dead.
Yep.
And John Goodman replaced
Yep.
Belushi.
That's right. Yep.
We're getting the
Yep.
band back together.
Yep, we're getting the band back together. You better think about what you're trying to do to me.
What's your favorite song on this new album?
Man,
Fart queef.
there's a song called Bar Band that's really good that we slid on the record last minute. And I text a lot of my stuff to Dave Grohl to see what he thinks. And he actually responded to this one. And he was like, dude, that's a hit. And of course, I'm like, Danielle, wake that ass up. Look what Dave said. And it's a really cool song. Really proud of it. Got to give a shout out to John Prine, who died during COVID. And that's a cool one. There's a sleeper. The last song's called To an End. It's a pretty deep song. I mean, the record takes a journey. We didn't sit down and say, let's record 12 radio hits because that's what matters. We said, no, let's record a musical journey of like upbeat, up-tempo rock shit down to like cool songs for the girls into like a cool hippie thing, like acoustic, peaceful song into like rock. And then now to like this Americana metaphoric, lyrical thing. And so it just goes through mountains and valleys and like that goddamn rally car. Oh, boy! Son of a bitch!
Woo! Hell yeah, brother.
It sounds like a pretty equated experience of being around you. It's all over the fucking board all the time. You're not quite sure what you're going to get.
Right. And I wanted to call it long shots just because me being alive is a long shot. Me getting the record deal is a long shot. Everything in my life is a long shot. But hey, man, here's the guys that take the long shots and see where they land and dream big, baby. You never know where you're going to end up.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I was thinking, like, you have such an interesting path in the musical world, country music world. Like, you wrote so many damn songs before you got your big record album. What was like, what's different about your path versus what you kind of see floating out in the world from other people?
I don't know. It's kind of, everyone has a different journey, but there's, when I moved to Nashville, it's like, oh, you moved to Nashville and you get a pub deal and then you get a record deal and then you get a radio and then you get a hit and bam. And I don't know. I've always been the different kid. If you guys didn't know that.
Yeah, well, no shit. Yeah.
Even in high school.
You're just like every other dude I've ever met.
Right. But I don't know what that fucking means. Jesus. But I don't know. It was, I kind of feel like in a lot of ways I did my career backwards where usually you meet certain people and get in certain groups when you're like a superstar. And I kind of got in some of these groups on accident beforehand because people are like, who's this fucking crazy motherfucker? And just, I don't know. I mean, just wake up every day, not try to reinvent the wheel, just, say yes to everything.
Some days you're going to sing a song and some days you're going to run a golf cart into John Daly's bus.
Right. I mean, just like shit. People are like,
Excuse us?
Yeah,
Excuse
what?
us? What's
What?
up?
John, what'd you do?
Yeah, I was at a charity event.
Here we go. Now we're in the good stuff. The whole, the rest of the podcast leading up to this
Just
has
crop
been
it,
waiting for
chop
this
it.
movement.
Right. So I was at
Go
Bone
fast.
Frog Open. My friend McBee is a SEAL team guy, badass American, and throws this event raising money. So we go up there and may or may not have been alcohol involved. And I ended up with a golf cart because Chad Ward went to bed.
And it's a golf course.
It's the golf course and I ended up with a golf cart. I'm not a golfer. I'm not an athlete.
He's a country music singer,
That's
songwriter.
right. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
And I just remember just ripping towards these concrete stairs and just tunk and just landing that thing. And then I'd zip around and come back and do it. And I was like, well, has anyone ever jumped up steps? So then boom, blast up it. We're doing this. I'm blowing tires out. This belt is fucked. And there's a big bus out front. And I just come around the corner and just plow into the front of this tour bus. Enough to where everybody on the bus was shook. Like, come out. And then here comes this motherfucker with this mullet. And he's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, oh my God. He's like, John Daly, good to meet you. And I'm like, wow, okay. So then I go on the bus and they're all partying and carrying on. And he hands me this guitar and he goes, what do you think of this guitar? And I play it. And I'm like, honestly, I think it's a piece of shit. And he picks it up and smashes it. Come here. I'm like, not just like lightly smash, violently smashes wood shreds going everywhere. And I'm like, that is a very expensive guitar.
God.
I talk a lot of shit. And so I get out and my buddy Tim Fiddleman was all mad because he's like, you're destroying shit. I'm like, Tim, I'm sorry. It's kind of like my MO. I make more friends than enemies when I do my rowdy shit. And, at some point you get too old for that. But Not yet.
Not yet.
But anyway, so the next morning, I made my rounds, and I have a very guilty conscience, and I'm not a guy that breaks shit and doesn't deal with it. So my first stop was John Daly's bus. And I said, hey man, I've got a pretty good insurance rider. I'd like to pay for the damage to your bus. And he goes, bullshit, you're going to sign it. I was like, okay. So I sign it. We get a picture, and he goes, and I've got a thing at Old Hickory Country Club in Nashville. I want to give you a membership to my golf club. And I'm like, I don't golf. And he goes, well, you sure as fuck golf cart. So then they went to give me a tip when I left, and it was a healthy tip. I'm not going to talk about it, but I just handed it right back to McBee, and I said, let's never talk about that golf cart over there in that woods again. And he goes, you got it.
Nice.
So good.
Sometimes the chaos leads me to, more often than not, you know?
Sure.
Everyone's like, do you get arrested a lot? I'm like, no. Like,
I asked you that today.
yeah.
I literally asked you that today because you had just finished up the flip-flop story.
Oh, yeah, the flip-flop story.
You just finished up the
That might
flip-flop
be for
story.
an after.
Yeah, some other time.
We
But
don't
then
need
I
to talk
had
about
asked
flip-flop.
you if you ever been arrested because you're so crazy. I didn't know.
I got arrested when I was 20, and I think that was it.
Yeah.
You can tell when I was 20,
What? But you didn't wrestle the Punisher guy, and now he's your friend or something?
yeah, Thomas Jane and I had a wild night. We did a movie called The Last Son. It used to be called The Last Son of Isaac May. It's not out yet, and somehow I got casted in it. We went to karaoke night in Wilsall, Montana, and I got drunkard, and goddamn, I didn't know. And on the way back, there was a wrestling match, and his head got split open. And of course, we're wearing our outfits. So we're dressed like we're 1880s cowboys in this bar. And I'm
Normal
like,
things.
I'm Tim Montana, and that's the Punisher.
The movie Punisher.
Right.
Yeah, not TV Punisher, but movie Punisher.
He's the OG,
The OG.
Marvel.
Yeah,
like the guy.
like
Punisher.
2002 for movie guy.
But the guy's
right?
a G. He's been
Something
on
like that.
Stephen King's movies,
Yeah.
The Mist and
Yeah.
Dreamcatcher
Yeah.
and Hung. And the guy's just a great soul. And we just hit it off. And he was like, dude, I want to have you in all my movies. But the next day I like kind of woke up and I'm sleeping in this Western town, and I'd wake up to action, boom, boom, guns going off. And I'd peer out the window and there's Sam Worthington and Machine Gun Kelly. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? And when they move the set, I get a knock on the door. It's bap, bap, bap. Open the door, and there's Thomas wearing his cavalry outfit. And his face is all fucked up. And he goes, man, I woke up and my face was stuck to my pillow. Came up and I peeled my pillow off my face from the blood.
Oh, no.
And I'm like,
I've been there before.
am I going to get fucking fired or what? He's like, let's have a shot. So we had a little drink. So we got a little hair of the dog. We were hungover as fuck. And so yeah, now we've stayed in touch, and I brought him duck hunting in Arkansas, and I got my eardrum blowed out. And so then I got rushed to the hospital, and then he's in there with me. And the doctor's like, hey man, I wouldn't be drunk wandering around this hospital. This whole place is COVID. And I'm just like, oh
my God.
my ear. And Thomas is behind me laughing. And we just had a great time. So then he just got another Western in Montana and just called me, and he's like, dude, you got to be in it. He's like, you're my guy now. It's like, you're in the movies with me. And I'm like, all right, so we're doing this whole package deal. But the funny thing was, the night after the wrestling match, crazy drunk debauchery, the morning we do a horseback ride, and Heather Graham is very sweet, beautiful, beautiful lady, beautiful soul. She's riding next to me, and she starts chatting with me. We're on horseback, and she's like, you must be the crazy guy that knows everybody. And I was like, she's like laughing. But I called Traeger, and I'm like, Chad, hey, like there's this big movie set. There's all these movie stars. Kind of fucked up last night. Like, I mean, so far everybody seems to be cool with it, but you know, it'd be a really cool redemption is if I cooked for the whole set. And so I went to the producer, and he's like, hello, Tim. I'm like, hi.
Me
Hey
again.
man, we want to cook tri-tip. And my buddy Ben still showed up, brought this trailer and dropped it. And it was full of Traegers, meat, all the shit. So I cooked for everybody, and everyone's like, that's how you win everybody over here in Hollywood.
He's
So
no
I cooked in a Western
Amen.
town, hungover, split lip, all that shit, wrestling all night, carrying on. They were able to sew up my outfit and shit and get all the
Nice.
blood off it. So,
Perfect.
I'm
Wouldn't
perf-
the blood just add to like the ambiance?
well, the
Everything?
bartender wasn't supposed to be bloody.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
But it was a cool experience. So we're going to do some more Western movies. I don't know if I'm an actor. Just an old boy.
Well, I think you just play yourself.
Right.
You know, just like you kind of act through life.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just a character in general. So I think it works.
Yeah. Let's roll with it, baby.
How do you guys sit so long? My body hurts.
Okay, well, if Tom is going to be Jesus,
Dude, I'm sorry.
complaining about shit, we're just going to wrap this up.
Yeah, okay.
My whole thing is
April
just
9th,
shutting
long
down.
shots.
April 9th, long shots.
I need a timeout.
He's got nothing going on. Don't pay any attention.
I'm a wandering construction gypsy at this point. Thank you, COVID, you motherfucker.
Huge thanks to Dirtfish Rally for having us out. Awesome time. Thank you so much. And as always, sign up for the club. Drink the good shit in the coffee. It's coming at you. We got new 300 milligram espresso drinks.
So
like, comment,
always
subscribe.
so good.
July, my mom's 4th wedding. Anybody wants to come? Hit me up.
And we out.